Alright, day 4. Today it was the Hollywood Studios. I got my map here so I can actually know what the heck I'm talking about now. Okay. This area is mostly popular. This is where all of the... It was original... This place actually has some history. Originally it was the MGM Disney. It was Disney and MGM Studios. But then MGM went bankrupt, or Disney bought MGM off of it or something. But we have the... Sorry. But we have the... But Disney now owns part of MGM, and long story. Or Disney now owns the rights to some of the MGM stuff, and all this to be cleared up now. All this to be cleared up now that now that Disney owns Lucas, all of the rights to whatever should be okay, I think. But originally, this place was designed to be a operating movie studio, originally. And they actually managed to start shooting 2 or 3 movies on it. Unfortunately, nobody liked it because it was also an active theme park, and the two really didn't merge together as well as they really could be. But this is where a lot of the licensed rides are. So you'll notice that most of the neater rides here are licensed to licensed stuff. First thing I did was the Tower of Terror. This ride has been one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this trip. For the past 20 years, I have heard nothing but good things about the Tower of Terror. It is, and I must say, it more than lives up to its name. What it does is it's technically the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Then, before he died, they actually got Rod Serling to record a little introduction for it, so it's like a Twilight Zone episode. And what the story behind this, if you notice I'm saying story a lot today also. And ironically, at the end, you'll see kind of why. The story behind this ride is that it was once this big, grand Hollywood tower, but then it was struck by lightning, and assumed that the building was cursed, and so they just shut it all down. So as you walk into the building, there's like creepy music. There's like creepy old-timey music coming from way down halls, and there's cobwebs everywhere. Everything looks like it's from the 1920s, which really added to the whole mystique of this mysterious tower. What you do is, apparently when the lightning supposedly struck the tower, one of the elevators was completely vaporized. And, that's why it was shut down, because of safety reasons. And one of the main reasons that it shut that, and you could hear like ghostly customers started complaining about ghostly screams of this ghost elevator going continuously dropping all through the night. So that's what part of the mystique is. The ride is you go through the tower, go through the barrier line into a little... This one's going to be a long one. I can tell you that right now. Into a library where they play a short Twilight Zone clip, which again they got Rod Serling to play. He then, you then go into the basement and you get onto a service elevator. They sit you down, and then which the bellhops, the quote-unquote bell ride people, are dressed as bellhops here, and you can tell that they absolutely love their job of just creeping people out. All of them talking like a deep voice and just joking around with the audience, pretending to pound on the elevator doors as they're closing, and it's really fun. The thing is, after you strap down, you go through the whole Twilight Zone opening, and then you feel yourself. Then then all of a sudden, you just drop. You drop a few stories, then you stop, then shoot up again to the very top story, then you drop down a few stories, then shoot back up, and it does it it does it a good 5 or 6 times, just various stops and starts, and you really don't know what the heck is going on, which is amazingly fun. I went on that about 6 times today. If you haven't decided. If I hadn't... I only got pictures on 2, though. Sorry. They had a problem with their camera. Long story. Second one I did was the Rock and Roller Coaster. The Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster. You sit in... the story behind this one is... You sit in a... you're going on a tour of a record. You win a contest, pretty much, and the winner of the contest got to see a live recording of Aerosmith. Unfortunately, they had the band. The band had a gig playing that night, so you actually get to see the members of Aerosmith recording an album. Their manager then comes in and says, "Oh, you guys are supposed to be across town at a concert right now." Then one of the guys in the band saying, "Oh, we can't just leave these people. Oh, so we'll just take you with us." And you go out to the quote-unquote alley behind the studio. There's a big stretch limousine there. It's a ride vehicle, it's a stretch limousine. You get in that, strap up, and then you go, and they said, "Oh no, there's traffic, but we have a special way to get you there." And instead of going up a hill, you literally go from 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. You just shoot right out of the gate. And there's inversions and all that stuff. You think you're going to crash into the Hollywood sign at one point. It's just so freaking... Some of this stuff is so cool. I went on that 3 times, I think. 3 times. And by then it was about 10:30. And I've been in the park for an hour and a half, and I've been on 2 rides. So I decided to hit other things. So I hit the Mickey Mouse hat. I got my picture taken with the Mickey Mouse hat, which I just learned that today, that's actually going to be moving, because the original centerpiece for the Hollywood Studios was the Chinese theater that was behind the hat. But then they started this whole Sorcerer Mickey thing, and they created a Mickey Mouse hat for it. But that's actually going to be moving, and the centerpiece is back with the Chinese theater, which does look cool. Let's bet more on that in a minute. Then I went down. And then I went next thing up was the Star Tours, which was the Star Wars ride. Uh, they reopened it earlier this year, I think. Either early this year or late last year. I forgot which. The thing about this ride is that it's always different. It's always different. There's you go into a little simulation room where the chairs tilt and wobble and that type of thing. You get into they strap you in, and either R2D2, either a pack of stormtroopers stop you, or Darth Vader himself comes and stops you. And the Darth Vader one's neat because he actually starts grabbing you with his force hold, and he starts grabbing your ship with his force hold until R2 shoots him with lasers and he has to deflect them so he can get out. The if you get the stormtrooper opening, there's a little probe droid that sucks onto your ship and you have to shake him off. Then it goes to one of 3 different planets. I'm not sure which ones. I'm not a very big Star Wars geek, but yeah. And then you get a transmission from either Admiral Akbar, Yoda, or Princess Leia about how you have to get this hidden rebel spy to a certain spot, which is actually your last. I had Boba Fett my first time around, which he has this little shoots this little explosion device at you, and the whole ship shakes. It's cool. It's awesome. Then there's also Coruscant, where the little droids attack your ship and hack it, and try and hack it to pieces. So you have to go into a full 90 degrees nosedive straight at the ground. You literally feel like you're coming like an inch of actually hitting the pavement. But then he flies away and stuff. You also got Naboo. And the Naboo one is awesome because all the Naboo ships have this little spike coming out the end, and at the end your ship literally the point of the ship literally comes crashing in through the ship. Not literally, but it looks really awesome. I did see the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. Not all of it. I didn't see the opening scene, but I saw how they did the big Marrakesh fight with the car chases, and the big fight scene at the end with the airplane and the guy getting his head chopped off, and how they cut it, and how they did all the stunts and stuff. That was really neat. I know I'm saying that a lot, just bear with me. Then I did Muppet Vision 3D. That is some of the most cleverest comedy I've ever heard. And the 3D actually really works. They even had a joke where the 2 scientists tried to create this 3D effect. The 3D effect comes to life, and it becomes this little annoying CG character, and it's everybody hates, and so they just tried to vacuum him up. so the scientists spend the entire time trying to vacuum up this imaginary CG creature, until finally the Swedish chef who's running the projection booth gets out a cannon literally comes through the back wall, and they shoot holes into the screen, and it looks like they actually have cameras on the outside, so it looks like there's actually holes being punched into the screen to the theater. And at the end, Kermit runs in on a fire truck. So Went in a fire truck and apologizes for all the damage. Um, By that time, it was about 3 o'clock. I had already eaten, and I hadn't been sleeping well lately. Hopefully tonight will be better. Uh, I so I just sat down, and I actually took a nap. Just put my head down for like 5 minutes, took a nap. I know, just I needed to be done. Um, then I saw the second part of what it was supposed to be, of what this park was supposed to be, the animation pavilion, which they actually originally it was supposed to be. You could look down and see all the animators animating a recent a film that was supposed to be coming out. They did away with that long time ago for princess stuff. But I saw that, but they still had some of the animators there. They they had a show where they went and they designed a character. And they designed a character off the top of their heads. It's neat. It was neat. It was neat. Then I went down and I saw Walt's Dream, which was it was a it's a museum. It was a museum, a small museum dedicated to Walt Disney. Um, and this and without Walt Disney, this world would be a lot sadder. Let's just say that way. He knew Walt Disney had big dreams, and he knew he could wrap his mind around what he wanted to do, and that's why I like it. And that's why I love Walt Disney. Then headed down the Pixar Palace. Nothing really interesting there, and just rode numerous rides over again, because that was pretty much it. But just kept on riding Tower of Terror over again, and Star Tours, and all that stuff over and over again. Um, However, the one thing that was a disappointment for me today, though, I mean, overall the day was pretty good, but the one thing that was a different disappointment was Fantasmic. Now, it's odd because I know all the special effects are neat, and I know seeing them live is neat. The problem is that there's no story. Now, if you turned the idea into a movie, Mickey's somehow imagination runs wild. The villains the villains fill his head with bad thoughts. He doubts himself, and has to fight his way back through all of his own personal doubts. That would actually be an amazing movie. Unfortunately, you have no idea what the heck is going on. There's somewhat of a plot, but having Mickey believe in himself again is a much better plot, is a much grander plot than can be summed up in a half an hour stage show, if you understand what I mean. Other way, but it's already running pretty long, so I'll just get to the stuff I got. 1 second. This is the pin for today. Has the little head on it, Tower of Terror, and the Rock and Roller Coaster. And I know I said I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I figured when's the last time I'm gonna make myself a lightsaber. So yes, I built my own custom lightsaber. They have a spot there where you can do this. Hit that. Come on. Sorry. That must look dumb. Unfortunately, it doesn't collapse by itself, but still. Oh, yeah. They also had a child's Jedi training academy there, and I actually got my picture taken on a speeder bike, so that was neat. Um, but yeah, with the child Jedi training, they they do like a fake Jedi training, and at the end, Darth Vader comes out and challenges them all to a duel, and some of the funniest stuff I've seen is when the kids actually join with Darth Vader, which if you haven't looked that up, do it. It is some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. um, but you know, having a little kid beat up Darth Vader is. If I was a kid and I beat up Darth Vader, that would still be one of my most treasured memories. And finally, speaking of which, I had picked up this shirt. It is. Sorry. It is Darth Vader riding the Astral Orbiter. So, yeah, that's it. And actually, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I'll explain more tomorrow. Just, you know, so, bye.